Hi Aries, this is your check-in. We're going to take a look at what's next for you. What's next for Aries? Pull some tarot cards and then some oracle cards to top it off. What is next for Aries? Okay, you're closing out a cycle. You're closing out a cycle of, it feels like you're letting go of relationships of any kind, whether romantic or platonic. You're letting go of relationships that don't fulfill you, that don't um, reciprocate what you give. You're letting go and you're letting go because you're being pulled towards a more fulfilling status quo. We have the Five of Cups, we have the Lovers, and we have the World. There's some kind of lesson that you are internalizing. There's some kind of realization, and it's more of like an uncovering of needs that you have that up until now you may have not been aware of consciously, or you were aware of them and thought they weren't that important. So there is a reprioritizing of your own needs ahead of you, which is beautiful. Let's take a look at some advice from Spirit how to proceed through this. It's a very clear message. Yeah, Spirit is totally behind you. They're saying that in order for you to fully close out this cycle, to feel good about it, you really want to put your needs first, and you really want to focus on what makes you happiest. And I understand that if these are relationships that you're letting go of, this is some kind of emotional. If it's not relationships, then it might be like a project or work related, something like a career. There's something that you were emotionally attached to that you are needing to release, and that is not easy. But Spirit is saying that the payout is greater than the loss. The payout that you will be receiving, which is these cups all being filled by your own self-love and acceptance. There's really this push for you. It's like these cups that, it's like you're gonna be sad over cups that are fallen over, and they're not even your cups. You're very sentimental about the fact that cups are being spilled, but they're not your cups, because what is happening in this process is that you are actually straightening out your cups. You're figuring out, it's like there's a table full of cups, and you're actually figuring out, okay, which of these are mine? And in the mess of it all, who knows whose fault it was, but there were cups that were spilled, and you feel bad that there are cups that are spilled, but Spirit wants you to focus on just your cups. Let other people clean up their mess. And at the same time, they are saying, yes, absolutely, move on from what is not serving you, what is not fulfilling you. It is time to start fresh. I mean, we have the World with the Fool. That is absolutely a closing of a cycle so that you can embark on a new one. And a new cycle just means exactly that. It's a new cycle. There is always another lesson around the corner. So it really is just like an internalizing. And I got this earlier and I'm getting it again now, I'm getting this idea of when we're in school and we learn something throughout the semester, we're studying, and then at the end of the semester, there's a test and we apply our knowledge. So you might, especially because the Lovers does represent a choice, so you might be faced with a situation that is going to test you. It's like you already know that something is done, that you should put yourself first, and you might find yourself in a situation where you're actually asked to physically do that, where it's not just like a realization anymore, but you have to act it out in the world. Like you have to make it an actuality, a reality. But I do feel that you're going to feel a lot lighter once you've actually made this decision. It's like the hardest part of it is you dealing with the mental aspects of the outfall of the decision, of proclaiming the decision. Like I said, there's this table that's full of cups, and it's like you're so worried about other people's cups that are spilled. And Spirit is really just like, just make your decision, get your cups in order, and worry about yours. Let other people take care of themselves. Get some energies around this. Yes, we have the Sun, we have Scorpio, and we have the 6th house. So interesting. So if this is about a job, because the 6th house is about our daily routines and it is often about our job. If this is about a job, then this is a job that you're probably thinking about leaving behind, and you feel some kind of responsibility, possibly because of the emotional connections that you have at this job, meaning it's not so much about the company, or it's not so much about the work that you do, but it's about the connections that you made there, the community that you have there, and you feel bad letting those people down. And when I quit, there's going to be other people that have to clean up that mess. That is not on you to worry about. You need to make sure that you live your life in alignment with what is best for you. And if there is a fallout because you are leaving a position, then that is on management for not planning ahead. You get what I mean? So like I said, we have the 6th house, we have the Sun, and then we have Scorpio. So there is some kind of decision process that I think you've been dealing with for a long time. You've been holding on to this for a long time, and you've been wanting to make this move for a long time. Scorpio is very slow moving. The Sun is about yourself, your ego. So I think there is this well thought out decision that is upcoming, but you feel bad about it because you did try to avoid or try to manage things as much as you could. Like it's like you were trying to manage more than your fair share, but that might have also hindered you, like not asking or not demanding that people step up might have gotten them used to you taking on more than your fair share. So again, this could be related to a job situation, or this can be related to a relationship, or like love or friendship. Let's get a card from Spirit and see what their advice is on how to best get in contact with them at this time. If you need support, what to look out for. Physical. This is interesting because Aries, you are a very physical sign, first of all. You're ruled by Mars. But this is also asking, like I said, I think there's something that mentally you've already kind of accepted, and now is this push, this jump for you to take to make it a reality in your physical world. If you're having a hard time doing that, I think Spirit wants you to experience, especially we have the sun as well and the sixth house, wants you to experience your physical world a little bit more right now. Maybe get out of your head and get back into your physical body. So whether that is through meditation or working out or dancing, some kind of activity that can really ground you into your physical being to kind of get you away from thinking about other people. Because when you're being when you're physical, it's like, first of all, a lot of times your mind gets put on pause, but also you can't worry about other people's emotions because you're like working out, you're focused on your physical movement, on your body. You are absolutely 100% present in your body. So try doing that. Let's get you 2 more oracle cards for Aries. We have the Death card, which fits perfectly because this is definitely, like I said, this is a cycle that is forcing you to release things. But those things that death comes when death is due. I'm trying to say this without being insensitive. There's a time for things to die. And then there's a time for things to be reborn. There's a time for things to live. But there is a time for things to die. And as of right now, we don't have any way in human history to avoid death in any shape or form. This does not mean, let me be clear, this does not mean that you're dealing with death explicitly it's a metaphorical sense, okay? But there is a time that things die. Hair in my mouth, sorry. And it's unavoidable, and hanging on to something that is dead, you're literally carrying around dead weight. That's what I feel like you have been doing with overextending yourself. You've been carrying around dead weight, and it's just time for you to release that, to physically release that. So you might also, because of that physical card came out, you might also be storing some of the heavy burdens that you've been carrying. You might be storing some of that in your body somewhere. So you might want to look into yoga and figuring out how you can release tension and release stored emotions. We have reach higher. The greater danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling too short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. I think you've definitely outgrown something, and you're on to something that is going to level up. You've closed out this cycle, and you're ready for a cycle that's going to be more challenging, but in a good way. Like, it's going to be motivating. It's going to be something that is just, I really feel like somebody here is leaving like something that's like their job, and they're going for something that is going to be their career. Like, you're going from something that is really kind of like small and it was a necessity, and you're going to something that's going to be more fulfilling and more meaningful to you. Okay? I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope I get to read for you again sometime. And